Hey everyone, it's Ryu. I'm gonna go ahead and make a quick video. Well, I always promise a quick video. It ends up not being quick, so let's drop the pretentious bullshit. This is probably gonna be another 30-minute video, especially given the subject matter, because I want to challenge myself to something, just for the giggles. All right, here's the rules of my challenge that I have set for myself. I have to remain at least relatively sane. I'm going to simultaneously try to address a feminist issue and a men's rights issue in my argument, and I have to link them together to show how solving one solves the other. Sound like an interesting thing? I actually kind of got this idea from watching part of one of Karen Straughn's videos. So I want to go ahead and try it. Alright. The subject. Because Karen, and I'm not going to just copy what Karen said. I'm going to actually go ahead and expand on it. And I'm going to tell you what Karen said that prompted me on this. She was addressing some people that have a podcast that went and saw the Red Pill movie. I really want to see this movie. Not really looking forward to the circumcision bit because, fuck, I have problems watching guys get hit in the balls in movies. Even if you know it's a blatantly fake thing, it still makes me hurt. So the circumcision thing's gonna suck, especially being how when I was circumcised, of course I don't remember it, but when I was circumcised, apparently a couple stitches were needed. No, it wasn't lopped off, but yeah, but I'm not going to go into details on that. Y'all don't need to know that. Back the fuck off. Alright, anywho, let's go ahead and address the issue. Men killing women in, killing domestic partners. Alright? That's the issue. Now, that's the feminist issue, and that's also an issue for men. Right? But, the men's rights issue. Unfair divorce law. And we can include family court. Why not? So, men killing their domestic partners. We know that, men are more likely to kill their domestic partner than women are. Karen Straughan brought up that before women, abused women were given a place to go that allowed them to get out without killing their domestic partner, that's when the shift happened. Before that, it was all even. Those numbers were teetering on absolute equal levels. And then all of a sudden, the male went up when the females went down. It makes sense because you're kind of playing a zero-sum game here. You're not going to have 0% of a crime. You can't have 0% of a crime committed because at that point it's like, oh, okay, that means no one's committing it, so that's awesome. But, if you have one crime of that type committed, and it happened to be committed by a male, then 100% of the time, males do it. You see how that works? But the thing is she brought that up, and that's a very valid point. Not going to argue with her on it. But let's go ahead and look a little deeper into the legalities of it, because apparently MRAs need to go ahead and just focus on the legalities. They can't focus on the social issues, right? At least according to those. In all honesty, I recommend you guys go ahead and watch Karen Straughn's video. It's about an hour long. Highly recommend it. No, she absolutely rips the woman apart. You know, her arguments and everything. She just rips her apart. But the thing is with the guy, you know, you can tell that the guy's nervous while he's discussing this stuff. And Karen even calls it out. You know, she's all like, "Why does he sound so nervous while he's discussing all this with you?" And the only times where he doesn't seem nervous is whenever he's sitting there and agreeing like the good little doggy that he is. You know what? Honestly, the guy sounds like he's been completely broken. So I'm sorry. I'm one of those guys, when I see a guy like that, I just naturally despise a person like that. When someone gets completely broken like that, I'm like, no, that right there is a mental weakness right there. That like, I can understand physical weakness, but mental fortitude weakness, that I don't know why it pisses me off. Anywho, I'm getting off track. So if we were to go ahead and solve these unfair divorce laws and child custody laws, do you think that might lower the rate of men killing their spouses, as opposed to going through the divorce system, going through the child custody courts and all of that? If they honestly were allowed to get a fair shake? I'm curious here, because the thing is at that point, not only are you solving a very large problem that men and women are having, you know, because women are finding it harder and harder to find a guy to marry them, so it's solving that issue for them, but also at the same time it's solving an issue for men, because now they're not having to literally put their balls onto the table and offering them as collateral for the chance of something that has no return. Still, you know, even at that point, I can't see a benefit to marriage. But, because the thing is, you have to have a lot of social changes that go along with it. But also at the same time, if you were to solve those issues, like if you were to make the laws actually fair, actually neutral, then I think you would quickly see a social change, an attitude change towards marriage by women. For one, they would be much less likely to be searching for someone to get married to. But also, at the same time, the women that did get married, well, let's just say this. Sex frequency probably would not be dropping off as quickly as it does in marriage, as far as what we have documented. I mean, in all honesty, now I know PragerU is one of those ones where it's like, but you know what? They actually had one thing on marriage, and it's all like, this is the reason why you shouldn't get married. I know PragerU had one where it's all like, oh, this is where you should get married. I'm all like, okay, you're fucking stupid. But they had one where it's all like, no, here's the problem with marriage. You know, for guys, here's how it's a raw deal. One of the things that they mentioned was married guys, you know, guys are looking at married guys and couples that cohabitate, and they're noticing that the guy in the couple that cohabitates versus the guy that gets married, the guy that gets married gets screwed. Not in the good way. The guy who cohabitates gets screwed in the way that guys want to get screwed. Why is that? Because the thing is if they end up separating from cohabitating, the woman has to start over from scratch with another guy, and she loses access to the other guy's, to the initial guy's resources and earning potential. So, she wants to keep him happy. You know? I mean, sucky, sucky, squeaky, squeaky. That's how it works. Now, So that would be a happy benefit. And then also at the same time, if a guy wasn't going to have to give up everything, you know, if his life wasn't going to effectively be ruined by getting divorced, if he gets with a woman, she ends up being abusive to him or mistreating him or just isn't happy, maybe she's not the woman he actually thought she was, he can get out of there with bare minimum harm. But as it stands right now, if a guy gets suckered into that, the only way of him getting out of it and not being in indentured servitude for the rest of his life, well, let's just say this. You need a few household chemicals, a large drum, and about 2 days to get out of it. The reason why I know that is because I actually went ahead and wrote a paper in a college class on criminology and one of the ways that criminals get rid of a body. Only reason why I know that. No, I'm not a psychopath. No, I haven't killed anyone. No, I'm not planning on killing anyone. Are there people I want to kill? I gotta be honest, yes. But, I don't think there's anyone in the planet that can honestly answer no unless they are a little kid. And even some kids have someone that they want to kill. But, no. Let's go ahead and be honest here. If a guy wants out of a marriage, he either has to fake his own death or he has to kill his partner. Or he ends up being financially ruined for the rest of his life. Or at the very least, for like, I think the minimum I've heard of in the US, I think the minimum that I've heard of was half of the time that they were together. So that means if they were married for 20 years, that means he's got to pay her alimony for 10. And that's still fucking ridiculous. Once the marriage is over, the woman should not be entitled to any money from him. And the thing is when you think about alimony and the whole reason why it was even created, it was back in a time when women weren't really allowed to work, where they had to be reliant on a man. They had to be reliant on their husband. And so, at that point, it made sense. And the only one who could really initiate a divorce was really a man, for the most part. Don't get me wrong, women could initiate a divorce, like if oddly enough, if the guy couldn't get it up. But, hell, the guy could also go ahead and initiate a divorce if the woman was barren. So it's all like, okay, all right, I understand that. Especially since, one of the big things about marriage at that point was procreation. So, all right, fair enough. But then all of a sudden, no-fault divorce came into play. And women were allowed to get into the workforce. Well, now they don't need that protection. But how did they manage to keep that protection? Oh, yeah, because they said, well, I have to sacrifice my career, my earning potential to go ahead and raise a family. It's all like, yeah, you go ahead and do that so that you can have a kid. Most guys aren't sitting there and going, hey, honey, you want to have a kid? No. Usually it's the woman going, hey, honey, it's time. Let's just fucking be honest. Are there guys that want to have kids? Yes, of course. But the thing is the woman also has to choose to have that child. That is her choice. A guy doesn't get the fucking choice. Once that woman is pregnant, it is out of his fucking hands. You know what his choice is? Abstaining. And even that isn't 100%. But anyway, I'm talking about divorce law and child custody laws. The thing is guys have killed their wives because they knew that they wouldn't get to see access to their kids. Because they knew that if they left their wife would be vindictive and use the kids as leverage. So it's one of those things. If we go ahead and solve these, then you're going to solve multiple problems. You're going to solve the whole men killing women thing, yes. Another happy aspect of it, you're going to end up having people get married for the right reasons. You know, that actually want to start up a family and have a cohesive family unit, so on and so forth. You're also going to have people not wanting to kill each other over family court matters, because when it comes to raising the kids, at that point, if both parents get a fair shake at it, if the default is 50-50 custody, and the man isn't having to pay the woman a whole fuck ton of money, forcing him to work more hours, therefore having his kid for less hours, therefore forcing him to pay the woman even more money in child support, which then means the man has to work more hours, which means less time with the kids. You see where I'm going with this? Guys look at that endless loop that just self-feeds and they're like, oh, fuck this noise. I'd rather risk going to prison for the rest of my life. Again, it's cost-benefit analysis. It's all like, if I go this way, I'm screwed over for the rest of my life. Guaranteed. But if I go this other way, I can get away with it. There is a possibility, so... And what's the worst that happens? Oh, I get in prison for the rest of my life, which I was already going to be in before, except with this prison, I get 3 hots on a cot. And there's no guarantee that I would stay out of this other prison anyway. So might as well take the risk and try to get the freedom. Well, let's go ahead and take that one off the table there, right? Go ahead and make it to where it's all like, hey, it's riskier to kill my partner than it is to go ahead and divorce them. It's not saying, oh, if a man kills his wife, you know, give him the death penalty. No, that's fucking ridiculous, because we don't even kill people for killing other people anymore. At least not often. Not in many places in the U.S. anyways. And I'm talking about the U.S. I don't know much about Canada law. I know that Canada's got its own fucked up set of laws. But I'm talking about the U.S. Other countries, you can work your own shit out. The U.S. has got to fix its own shit first. Yes, that's right. I am a nationalist. But if we were to solve that issue, it would solve multiple other issues all at the same time. So solving these 2 issues all of a sudden starts solving other issues. It's almost like if feminists were to back the fuck off for a bit and actually fight for some true level of equality, it's almost like it would benefit both men and women equally. And lower the reasons for the hatred and the violence. Just saying, you know? I mean, what the hell? You know, it's all like, don't sit there and say that, you know, women are the oppressed ones and that they need all the rights. It's all like, no, the reason why there's so much problem between men and women is because the thing is there are unequal rights, and the thing is I can't think of a single extra right that men have that women don't, but I can think of more than a few that women have that men don't, that men are actively denied, that men are laughed at for asking for. Now, I know some people are going to sit there and go, oh, it's another MRA. I'm not an MRA. I believe in equal rights for everybody. I'm not one of those people that sits there and thinks, oh, well, you know, women, you know, have it easy. No one has it easy nowadays. Not unless you're born with a silver spoon in your mouth. And even then, you still got your fucking problems. No one lives a carefree life. Do some lead a more carefree life? Yes. Is it always fair? No. Welcome to reality. Life sucks. Get over it. Just because your life sucks to a certain level doesn't mean that everyone else's life needs to suck to the exact same level. But yeah, I mean, in all honesty, I think I did a pretty good job with the game. I ended up starting out with one core issue. Then I ended up going to 3 core issues. And in solving those core issues, all of a sudden I ended up solving more than that in problems. I think that's pretty efficient. I think I feel good about that. I mean, hell, I'm happy with a 1-to-1 ratio. I'm doing better than that, so, you know? I mean, hell, at that point, if that was my KD ratio on first-person shooters, I might actually stand a chance of getting on to a semi-pro team. Awesome. But, yeah, if anyone sees a problem with the logic, go ahead and let me know. And I understand, you know, women wouldn't exactly be going for that, because at that point they have to give something up. And they're not going to see the initial thing, because a lot of women have that mentality of, oh, well, that won't happen to me, until it comes time for them to, you know, cash in on the victimhood points, and then they're all like, I'm always so scared. I've always thought that will happen to me. It's so terrifying. Don't get me wrong. I understand this. So, guys, I understand female nature. I get it. But the thing is, I'm talking about as far as the law is concerned, and it just being equally applied. Which at that point, it doesn't matter if women are happy about it or not. The law is the law. And to anyone who says, oh, well, that's sexist, if you're saying that the women shouldn't have any say in the law, it's all like, nah, not when it comes to this. No, I really don't. Because the fact of the matter is right now they're already holding all the cards. Let's be completely honest. I mean, when you can sit there and actively prove that the law is unbalanced, then yeah, it needs to be addressed. And I'm sorry, in this way, the law has been proven beyond any shadow of a reasonable doubt. Like the shadow of reasonable doubt is way off in the distance, well over the horizon. That's how far away we are from it. Like, in all honesty, if we were to move any farther away from it, we would have to start moving closer to it, because we will have halfway circumnavigated the planet. It's that far away. And for anyone who doubts that, here's my question to you. Let's say we have, let's see. All right, let's say we have 3 couples, right? Couple number 1, the man cheats on the woman. Couple number 2, the woman cheats on the man. Couple number 3, well, they swingers. All right? All 3 couples go to the divorce court. You know, the men have the exact same job. The women have the exact same job. Right? The men and women get an equal amount of money from their jobs. All right, let's go ahead and go with that. Completely equal in every way, except one half of the people have a dangly, the other ones have a pit. So, couple number 1, go to divorce court. Well, what's going to happen there? Oh yeah, the guy loses half of the shit and ends up having to pay alimony. Well, fuck. That sucks, right? But he shouldn't have cheated on her. Let's go to couple number 3. Well, the guy loses half of the shit and ends up having to pay her alimony. A lot less fair. I mean, yeah, he was cheating on her, but she was cheating on him. So, what the fuck? He's still being held responsible. I mean, yeah, he's still a piece of shit for cheating, but she's equally a piece of shit for cheating. Yet she still gets paid. She still comes out on top. Now let's go to couple number 2. What happens? He loses half the shit, and she gets paid by him. Even though she cheated. Yay. And I'm going off of averages here. You know, there's every once in a while going to be that judge that goes, no, you cheated, you pay him. Yeah, good luck with that, because she'll just take it to another judge and get it overturned in half a week. But, so yeah. When that situation happens, and regardless of who's at fault, the guy ends up getting screwed the vast majority of the time, that's when you got a problem. That's when it needs to be addressed. That's when it needs to be equalized, and you can shut the fuck up about women having no rights and no protections. So, let's go ahead and say, all right, now we're going to go ahead and compare the Bizarro World couples to the real world couples. You know, where the women end up paying. You know, let's just say that. Same exact situations. Well, let's go ahead and compare. How do the women in the Bizarro World couples have to pay the same amount as the male couples? Nope. They pay about half. Now remember, the men and women are making the exact same amount of money. But when the men have to pay, they have to pay more. When the women have to pay, they have to pay less. So even when a guy does dodge the bullet, he doesn't get as much benefit from dodging the bullet. The woman who more easily dodges the bullet gets more benefit. Really? And you wonder why men opt to kill their wives instead of divorce them.